Hey everybody, it's your girl PJamma from PJamma Lyfe. And today we're going to discuss with our super chat friends, our professor of Star Wars, David. Say hi, David.
Hello, everybody.
That's the wrong show, but I went to do.
Whoa.
And our other super fan, Patrick. Say hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
So today we have two of the best episodes of the season. Chapter 13, The Jedi, and Chapter 14, The Tragedy. And both titles describe everything you need to know about these two episodes. So why don't we go ahead and show first the a quick little thing about the Jedi, and we'll discuss the Jedi, and then we'll go in and talk about the tragedy. So let's show the clip.
Where can I find the Jedi?
Take the Foundling to the city of Callan on the forest planet of Corvus. There you'll find Ahsoka Tano.
Not much to see out here. Never had dealings with the Jedi before.
I've been expecting you.
Guild?
Last I checked.
What is that thing?
I keep it around for luck.
You're gonna need it where you're headed.
Grogu?
Yes. That's his name.
Your bounty hunter failed.
Now tell me, where is your master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Woo! Man, this was a jam-packed episode. So much to unpack. So the David, why don't you describe the episode?
Well, I think I'm not overselling this. This is probably the most important episode since the premiere with the client. Mm-hmm. In that what we saw, we've learned, obviously, Baby Yoda's name isn't Baby Yoda, it's Grogu.
Grogu.
Wow. So we know that. So any issues about him being the clone, I mean, that's kind of been wiped away, or at least a part of that is.
Right.
We saw Ahsoka Tano, one of the great popular characters from the Clone Wars and Rebels series. Rosario Dawson did a tremendous job in bringing her to life. And for me, a question I posed to Patrick a couple of weeks ago, would we hear about Grand Admiral Thrawn? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So I'm blown away by the action, the depth of what we've learned. Great performances by Michael Biehn, as well as Rosario, in this really superb action-packed episode.
Yes. So the story is that that the Mandalorian comes to this planet to find Jedi. And the opening scene is insane because the opening scene is Ahsoka Tano taking on the army that has what's the character's name? The bad guy. What's her name?
Oh, the magistrate.
The magistrate.
Right, yeah.
The magistrate has taken over this town. She's tortured people, and she's just a bad dude. And so she Ahsoka Tano and her are old enemies, and so she wants information. And the magistrate contracts with the Mandalorian by offering him a staff of pure Beskar if he will get rid of the Jedi. And so he goes and meets her. They get into a fight until he tells her that Bo-Katan has arranged for him to meet her, and she sees baby Yoda, and she is able to communicate with him through her powers and reveals his name is Grogu, which is awesome, and gives the Mandalorian some information about Grogu that heretofore since we didn't know. So they strike a deal. They go back and beat up everybody, and she gives him information about where to take Grogu to be with the Jedi, as she says she cannot train him because of his feelings. He has very strong negative emotions, and she's already seen what could happen with the Jedi with very strong negative emotions, and so she declines to train him, but leads them on the trail to where they may find other Jedi to train him. So that's the episode in a nutshell. If you didn't watch it, man, I don't know how you couldn't have watched it. Pat, tell us your thoughts about it.
It was really nice because it was like I'm a big fan from watching Rebels and Clone Wars, and you could feel Dave Filoni's fingerprints all over this, because this obviously he's taking stories that was near and dear to him. He's put them in there. Ahsoka was a major character. Rosario Dawson did a wonderful job. I mean, overall the action was super good. The performances were great, obviously, I thought. But you could tell if you didn't like those series, you're not gonna like it as much, and you may not get some of the things like Admiral Thrawn. People that didn't watch those series are going, who? But if you've watched them, you're like, holy crap, yes, because there was a lot of open-ended questions at the end of Rebels that were left that maybe we're going to get some closure with over these series if they let Dave Filoni be a part of the writing process. Jon Favreau keeps him in the loop. Maybe they can take some of these stories, or very successful, very good stories, and translate them into this live action platform they've got now. Because they did a really good job. Like I said, the action was really good. The planning, the Ahsoka, so good to see. So good to see some of these characters I love so much make it back. And Ahsoka technically never was a Jedi. She dropped out before she got out because she didn't want to be part of what they were doing. So technically, she was never a real Jedi.
Okay, but she's force sensitive, and she does know some of the ways of the Jedi.
Yeah, right.
She's been trained, but didn't join. Okay,
she needs to get her Jedi GED.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of where she was. She was that close.
Yeah. It's like, girl, you already took the classes. Now just go ahead and graduate. What you doing?
She's 2 credits.
2 credits shy of her Jedi certificate. Yeah. But I just thought the episode was so important. And I thought there were a lot of things from traditional movies. There were some influences of Akira Kurosawa and strong. I think they even said they took the scene of them meeting to battle from one of his movies. And I love me some Michael Biehn. It's good to see him. And there was a Terminator kind of sequence in there too. Yeah. And I was like, this is amazing. And I just thought the directing was really good. I thought that the fight between the women. Sometimes they make fights between women kind of like slap fights and like, kind of in a kind of mildly sexy kind of way. This was just a brawl.
Right.
These chicks were just going at it. And I was like, I am 100% here for it. They're both super skilled. And I really did. I like the little kind of subtle message they gave with the man who was going around feeding people and helping out the villagers, and it seemed like he was the governor of that little place prior to her getting there. So when the magistrate was destroyed, you saw him with her cape on. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, well, now you got kicked out of office, so it's my turn to have my office back. So I just thought that was kind of a nice subtle hint. I was hoping Michael Biehn had a little more skill when he fought Mandalorian. That just kind of ended too quick. I would have liked to see them kind of fight it out, and I was kind of just hoping that he would just walk away and just be like, yeah, I don't feel like dying today. How about you? And then they just kind of leave. So, but it was good to see him back. And I just thought the quality of writing and how it's going to set up these next episodes was, like you said, David, very critical to the series. Mm-hmm.
It really was. Now, you mentioned some of the other movies, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Did that scene as they were about to square off Ahsoka with the magistrate, did that give you like a sense of Kill Bill?
Yes, that was the other one. Yes, yeah. In the snow garden. Yes, right. Yes. I remember saying that when I saw. I was like, oh, too bad it's not snowing. This is like Kill Bill. And so that was another great fight scene between two really skilled women warriors and samurai. So you kind of got, the samurai theme in that battle sequence too. Mm-hmm.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So is anybody have any more to say on that episode besides yay?
Well, I think I'm going to be very curious to see, and it's a comment that I'll make when we talk about the next show too, is I think that for the first time there could be a little bit of division among the fans of The Mandalorian. I know I loved Clone Wars. I loved Rebels. Mm-hmm. I really like the idea of a fresh start with those wonderfully done characters prior to the rise of the Empire, or, prior certainly to this point, being done with that. I love now Thrawn had a different history because he was part of the rebirth of the expanded universe in the early 90s. I think some people, and I'll be on the same soapbox for the next one, I think some people will be a little concerned that we're bringing in these other characters and maybe not treading some new ground here as we go forward.
Yeah, and I think it's a hard kind of seesaw to take, because do you start fresh, completely fresh, right, and then not have the base really go for it? Or do you kind of thread through these familiar things, but then people who haven't seen the movies or the series prior to it are lost and they don't know how to keep up and fall off? So I think so far, to me, they're doing a good job of blending new and old, but we'll see if they kind of take the coward's way out and just kind of build on the other stories. But I don't know. I'm gonna be here for it regardless.
I've got my popcorn. I'm ready either way. But that was just one little thing I was thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important too. What do you think, Pat?
Well, I think it's a smart move on Disney in order to bring in familiar characters, familiar things, and expand where they left off. I mean, right, even if you didn't know Ahsoka, you saw she was badass. You got that she was a Jedi. There's other characters in the next episode. They're going to come back from the original prequel, the original trilogy. that are coming back, you know, and stuff. I mean, you're taking canon and you're expanding canon, which I'm okay with. You know, like as long as it doesn't, you know, we don't do a Rise of Skywalker thing, you know, or something like that, where we just
Excuse you, sir. Excuse you. Hold on. I know you itching for that conversation.
Don't talk about retcon in nine.
All right. Okay. So how about we take a look at the episode 14, the chapter 14, the tragedy.
I've been quested to bring him to his kind. I must deliver him to a Jedi.
Go to the planet Tython. There you will find the ancient ruins of a temple that has a strong connection to the Force.
I want my armor back. The armor was given to my father Django by your forebears. In exchange, I guarantee the safety of the child.
Nice shot.
I was aiming for the other one.
The child's gone.
Till he is returned to you safely, we are in your debt.
Have you ever seen one of these? From years past.
Just a few of the choice scenes where, whoo, oh my goodness, this episode, man. So what happened in this episode is that the Mandalorian goes to Tython, where he was directed by Ahsoka. And there is a monument where Jedi are placed and they can communicate through the Force to other Jedi to find them. And when they get there, he discovers that Boba Fett and Fennec from season 1 have come and are there to, well, Boba Fett wants his armor, and Fennec is now aligned with Boba Fett. And so the stormtroopers come because they have placed the tracker on the ship and to get the baby. And so get Grogu. I guess I shouldn't call him just the baby anymore, but he's my little baby. And they battle and fight, but the Moff Gideon's group is successful in snatching the baby and taking him to the ship. And Boba Fett and Fennec pledge to the Mandalore that they will help him return the baby to him. And so it was so exciting and sad, but you did get more information, and that was really fantastic to really understand more about what's going on. And so, David, why don't you take it away? Talk about what you thought about it. But first, before you start, let me say hi, Tim Windsor. He is a big fan of ours. He's a loyal viewer. We are so happy he's back to view us, and he's just a wonderful, wonderful, loyal fan. So, hey, Tim.
Well, hey, Tim, we want to hear what you have to say, too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This was a wonderful episode, but it pulls your heartstrings. I mean, you talk about a cliffhanger at the end. Angst Friday morning when I watched this. Wonderfully done. Great battle scenes. You know, I thought that Fennec was a character. I felt disappointed. maybe even a little cheated that because she's such a wonderful actress. The person who plays her has a lot of range. Actually did some 30-minute comedy stuff even.
Yeah.
So it was great to see her, but great combat scenes. I will be consistent. Boba Fett, a lot of people had felt like the Sarlacc death was a little bit less than it should have been for someone with his mythos and the excitement. He was the first new character from The Empire Strikes Back we had ever seen. That holiday special is the intro. So I thought it was so great. You saw Moff Gus being so evil with Grogu. But I did have concerns that they decided to formally say that Boba Fett did survive the Sarlacc. We saw that in some old Marvel comics from the 80s, but they built onto that. But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
One question I keep asking, though, and from the first episode, and here they are in this Jedi Mountain, I can think of one Jedi that probably has a little bit of fame across the galaxy right now that somebody might have just thought, hey, why don't we go try and contact him? Kind of surprised Ahsoka didn't say that last week, but why aren't we talking about Luke Skywalker? And will we be talking about Luke Skywalker before New Year's? That's my question.
But isn't Luke Skywalker, he's kind of in hiding, right?
Well, I mean, they won the galaxy. They've got the New Republic has officially won. They know about a second Death Star being taken down. We saw that in that Tatooine episode.
Yeah.
His status must be legendary as the great hero of the galaxy, the great terrorist of the galaxy from this Imperial Remnant's perspective.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised. Maybe we'll find out more why Ahsoka said, no, we need to find Luke Skywalker here. And I'm a little surprised that hasn't been said yet. Curious to see if it's going to happen in the next 2 episodes.
And wasn't there another Yoda species in the series? I was reading up on it, and Yaddle,
episode 1.
And so she knew Yaddle, right? And so
nice red coif of hair. I don't know if Yaddle died before the Clone Wars or not from the comics and things, to be honest. I'd have to brush up on that part of the expanded universe.
Yeah. So, I was trying to get deep in it because I was I still haven't been able to finish the Clone Wars. So I know I'm missing big piece of this.
And it's
but yeah, but go ahead, Pat. I want to David, do you have any other words?
No. I'd love to hear what Pat has to say.
Let me let Pat in, because I'll talk about all the things I thought about it, but I'll let Pat go.
I gotta tell you, I was super excited when I was watching it, and I saw Slave One come in, and I'm like, oh hell yes, I know what's up now, And then I'm going to point out something that's a consistent flaw in every single Star Wars properties, every movie, every series. Man, stormtroopers can't shoot for shit. I know they made the joke about it at the end of season 1 with the 2 speeder bikes couldn't hit the can. I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, man, you would think just because sheer volume of fire, you'd accidentally hit somebody,
Yeah.
And you get a guy with a Tusken Raider bantha stick just whooping the hell out of him.
Or when they killed the Jedi, and I was like, well, how are you so good when you killed the Jedi at the Attack of the Clones, but then you forgot about it how to shoot every other time? I was like, come on now.
That's lazy writing, and I get it. That's cool, whatever, but I was just things that I thought was awesome about it and troubling at the same time. Grogu using the dark force powers when he was like force choking those 2 dudes that were in the cell with him before Grand Moff comes in. He's he's throwing them around with the force, and he's also choking one. That's very definitely a dark side power, which makes you think that maybe Ahsoka might have known what she was doing when she said, "Nah, I can't be part. I've already had too much hands on one of the big bad Jedis. I don't want to get. I get the feel, and overall though." Grab the goddamn backpacks, the other thing, or jetpack. Grab your goddamn jetpack at the beginning of that fight. Climbing his ass up the hill, taking forever. he'd had that jetpack,
Yeah, that's right.
problem solved.
Yeah. Well, my thing was with the battle. I was just kind of like, well, Fennec is half like robot now, and so why can't she run faster? What the, you know?
Not Steve Austin, okay? Come on now.
I mean, kinda. Did you see her insides were all like parts going?
Hey, Boba could afford it. He could.
He should have given her bionic legs. Now that's a move.
He had to just get the basic,
money.
He didn't get the Corvette model. He got the Yugo model. Okay.
Yeah. But I thought that with Baby Yoda, and you said that, but did you look at Moff Gideon's face when he saw him using those powers? And so he was quite gleeful. And I think that remember she said that there was a dark time, when Baby Yoda, they were forced communicating or whatever. And the baby was just kind of found on that planet, but you didn't know where he had been beforehand. So I think he must have been captured by the Empire, and because remember, that's how they were making those soldiers that you saw the week before last, and they needed more of his blood to make other ones. So I think he had been captured and probably tortured, and which is why he's so scared to show his powers. So I thought that made sense. That remember, and he tried to choke out Cara Dune too, was she was messing with him.
I had then too, so yeah.
Yeah, he's quite familiar with choking a bitch out.
The Mudhorn, he killed the Mudhorn on the episode 2.
Yeah.
So he's shown the capacity to use the ultimate power in this.
Yeah.
Maybe for good, maybe for bad.
Right.
Patrick's comment I thought was so on point, because that look in Moff Gideon's face, that sense of glee with it all. Yeah. And you can see Grogu, he could be for the dark side at this age. He's very susceptible. He's very young. So it leaves you in a real tough spot, just because Moff Gideon really embodying that great evil, showing the dark saber like a toy. You seen this before?
He was dressed like Darth Vader without the helmet. Did you see that? The
cape.
The chest plate with the same.
Oh yeah.
I was like, holy shit, that's Darth Vader that's Darth Vader. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I thought. So today I just watched Rogue One again, and the director guy had the same cape outfit, but it was in white, and I thought, well, why can't they have different colors than black? I mean, that's just an aside, but Moff Gideon is too much dressed like Darth Vader to me. So I would have liked to see some variation of the costume, even if it was like, for me, the Crimson Guard are just the best. So incorporating, maybe a red cape and the black attire. Anyway, that's just a costuming note, but it was, I was like, oh, don't make him too much like Darth Vader. But now tell me this about the dark saber. So when I looked at it, I noticed that it was black on the inside and white on the outside. But all the other sabers are colored on the outside and white on the inside. And so is that because the dark saber is, but if it was a Mandalore weapon initially, it's not necessarily evil. It's just, it's just dark, right?
Is it
powered by the same crystal?
I'm not sure exactly the construction of it.
Okay.
Now, I do know that the dark saber is not necessarily a Mandalore weapon. It's a Jedi made by the first
by Mandalorian.
Oh, okay. and it was given to a Mandalorian who was a Jedi.
It became kind of like an actual. It was kind of like, you know, a royal scepter. It was a symbol of power of the leader of the Mandalorian got to carry the dark saber until they lost it. And watch Rebels, you'll see how that happens and all that stuff. You know?
Okay.
But I don't know why it's, you know, I don't know what the actual physical, you know, I know we're all talking about something made up here, but I don't know about what kyber crystal, you know, they got in it or whatever that's powering it differently. But it's a unique weapon, and it's very noticeable.
Okay. I just thought it was great that he kind of showed it to him, like, I bet you want this. And then, and then knocked him out. And then what made me so sad is when they had the little baby shackles. And I was like, oh, where do you even come up with baby shackles? It was just the worst. And it was just so sad. But I did notice the baby Grogu was trying to get him. He just didn't have any more power left. So he was trying to like force choke him, but he didn't have any more power.
Do or do not. There's no try.
But I thought it was interesting that that Moff Gideon, I think, must have been there during his training or his imprisonment, because he said, you know, the things he was saying makes me believe he either was shown video or that he was there when they were trying to get him to, you know, convert him into a dark Jedi or whatever, or one of the Sith or something.
Yeah.
So I think this was a powerful episode. It was exciting and wonderful and terrible, like all the best are.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing with this, I think at this point we've identified there has not been any real throwaway episodes. Even at the end of this episode, they referenced the Imperial Sniper from the hot, you know, from the prison ship episode. And so that makes me think, and I haven't thought about this scene from the very beginning, but when the Mandalorian, you know, rescued, was he really a rescue? Baby Yoda from that place there. Were those guys, were those mercenaries, those soldiers there? They were there to protect him. I mean, were they going to be? Was Grogu going to be used by someone else? Or maybe, I just thought of this as we were talking here, maybe Luke Skywalker had hired those people to put him in a fort to protect him because he was safely out of harm's way from the Empire. Mandalorian was paid by the client of the Empire to go get him, didn't know who he was. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe we find out that, you know, this was like a little place, a little fortress of solitude that had been found out. And those guys were there for the purpose of, I'm not saying they were good guys, but they were being hired maybe by good guys to protect Grogu. And we'll find that out here in another episode or two.
Yeah.
Because there has a real purpose for everything that Favreau and Filoni have been doing.
Right. That would be super interesting and such a foretelling, you know, when you do the foreshadowing, to have that to be the like you said, a fortress of solitude, where another Jedi had stashed him or maybe imprisoned him because they couldn't help him because he had evidenced some of these dark forces, and maybe they were trying to let, like she said, let his powers fade rather than have him grow in power and be, you know, turned to the dark side. So that's interesting. Any other predictions you have, Pat?
You know, I don't see him bringing Luke Skywalker back. I don't see him bringing any of the major four. You know, the Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. I don't see any of them making it back into this series, just because they're just too integral to this you know, main thing. I can see him maybe bringing an ObiWan back, and I know that Disney's in talks or is in production, I think.
Yeah, they are.
ObiWan series, so I can see maybe going with ObiWan instead of, you know, maybe a Luke, or maybe even, you know, since Filoni's so deep in it, maybe an Ezra Bridger coming back, you know, to kind of I don't know how well he'd be good at training him, but I mean, he was kind of a Jedi at the end of Rebels. There's several ways this could go because Baby Yoda got on, or Grogu got on the stone, sent out the call. Somebody heard the call.
Yeah.
Some of the force sensitive personality. I can see a Jedi swinging in towards the end, but I don't think it'll be Skywalker.
I think it'll have to be somebody that most people are familiar with, and I like the idea that it would be ObiWan. And I could it be Anakin? Has he turned bad? He hasn't turned bad yet, right?
At this juncture, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Is this okay? So I thought this was in between. Okay, you're right. This is before the final three, the final trilogy. So this is the time before the final trilogy, before the First Order comes to rise. The
Rise of Skywalker, whatever that first one was.
Return of the right, but like what, 5 some odd years after Return of the Jedi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Heard rumors that Samuel Jackson's in talks.
Oh.
Now,
yes.
He's another.
I read something.
You didn't.
Yes, I read something that his character didn't die. And I loved it. That's what I'm hoping for. That they get thrown from places all the time and survive. So that to me, why and why, please, Star Wars writers, bring back Samuel. I mean, if you could bring Boba Fett, who got eaten by a galactic monster, they could bring back.
Who's really dead here? Maybe Alderaan, or did all the people from Alderaan get on a bus right before it? Maybe they're around.
Well, Cara Dune did, so
Look at your shirt, Pam. Palpatine came back from the dead too, like nobody.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was a jerk.
Biggest hole anyway. But the thing is, I can see Mace Windu coming back. Maybe being the guy.
Yeah. That would be everything to me. If they brought Mace Windu back, that would be the perfect icing on the Star Wars truffle cake. It would be amazing.
You didn't see him die.
No, even if you see die, don't die. So what are you going to do? Darth Maul. That looked pretty dead. Cut in half.
Yeah, well, he cut in half and he come back, through Rebels and all that. Yeah. I mean, best still.
Oh, you guys told. Now I'll know he's back. So
you gotta watch it anyway. Who you kidding?
I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it now. I'll have time. So well, it looks like, is there any final predictions? Any Star Wars kind of info, gossip, or anything going on that we need to cover in these last minutes?
Dave's already covered the fact that there seems to be a kind of a split starting to form in the fan base with the people that really were looking not see things come back, Rebels and Clone Wars, and they were all looking for fresh stuff. I mean, I'm seeing a little bit of a split, but I'd say the pack is with this because, man, this is still the best damn thing we've seen since the original 3, to be honest.
Yeah. So Yeah. So I hope people don't start talking about boycott or doing this or blah, blah, blah. I just think just enjoy it for what it is. I mean, this is a nice light in the darkness of these times. And so, people just need to lighten up and have some fun with it and, take it easy. Yeah, that's I think going to be our word of the week. Take it easy. Any final words to say goodnight to the peoples?
Well, you've given me a peaceful, easy feeling after that, Pam. So
there we go.
You know what I did there? The Eagles?
Yeah. So, well, everybody tuned in. Great show. Thanks for listening. Hope you send suggestions about what you want us to talk about if you got something different.
Yeah. We love to talk to the people, come aboard and talk Star Wars and sci-fi, fantasy, kind of whatever. But most importantly, when you're out there, wear a mask and make sure that you're spreading joy and love and receiving it in this holiday season. Just ensure that those around you, it's a tough time for people out there as well. So make sure we're being kind to one another. And so with that, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll get notifications. And I'm looking forward to, I'm going to start posting my reviews of these holiday movies that are coming out. So I hope to do a blitz of holiday movies, all these Lifetime, Hallmark, Netflix movies that I can find. I'm just gonna watch them and then review them for you. So get ready for a holiday blitz. And so with that, I'll say good night. Thanks, fellas. Once again, great show. And we'll see you next time on PJamma Lyfe.
Y'all take care.